Hey, I'm John Beckerman. This is my friend Teddy. And Teddy never wrote for Dave. I did starting around 1992. I became the head writer, I was supervising producer, and was there until about 2012. It was very hard to come up with a list of favorite moments from the show. Then I was just kind of thinking, well, what if my favorite moments are actually the friends I made along the way? Some of my best lifelong friendships were formed there. And so I thought I would just talk about some of these people who I became friends with on the writing staff and what I think of when I think of them as a writer. The first writer I met was Steve O'Donnell because he interviewed me and hired me for the job. Steve is about the smartest, funniest human I've ever been around, and somebody who had a flair for the sort of language that would make Dave laugh. When I think of Steve, I think of Big Ass Ham. Steve wrote and produced some very funny commercials for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for a word from one of our newest sponsors. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, anytime at all, your family will love Big Ass Ham. And the complete line of Big Ass pork products. Remember, it ain't ham unless it's a Big Ass Ham.
Here you go, honey, your favorite breakfast.
Oh, boy, scrambled eggs and big-ass ham.
But that's not all. Now there's big-ass bacon.
Oh, I love you, honey. And I love you, big ass.
My earliest days in the writer's room were frankly terrifying. I go from not doing anything at all to finding myself in a room filled with not just writers whose work I knew and admired, but people who I recognized because they would appear on the show. And so I'm sitting there, and across from me is Jerry Mulligan. And for me, that was like I'm sitting across from like the Lincoln Memorial. He was just always the funniest person in the room. He wrote really what might be my favorite thing ever involving the singer Lou Rawls.
Excuse me, Dave?
Yes, Alan, what can I do for you?
I have something new for summer.
Uh-huh. Oh, what is that?
All summer long, in the green room, Lou Rawls.
Wow, so Alan, why do we have Lou Rawls sitting in the green room?
Why, you ask? Hey, say it with me, folks. Because it's better to have Lou Rawls and not need him than to need Lou Rawls and not have him.
So for my first couple years at the show, the head writer was Rob Burnett. He quickly became my mentor and good friend. One week when Steve Martin was coming on the show, Steve wanted to shoot little moments of him rehearsing his guest appearance with Dave. We shot a few of these moments, and I remember bringing them upstairs and Rob and Dave being like, but what is it? Like, what do we do with it? Something I really learned from Rob was how to set up something so it was an actual comedy piece that would play. Rob had the idea, what if we cut it into like a mockumentary about, you know, a behind-the-scenes view of Steve's guest appearance.
So we just went right to work.
Give it to me again.
Okay. 98.6. Is that your body temperature or your IQ?
So you just say, and then, you know, they said we loved it.
That's right. No!
Something.
No! Grab it. Just take the cup.
Grab?
I wanted to be able to reach for the glass and get it effortlessly. And that's when things started to break down.
And we really talk money yet.
Right.
After that, things got horribly, horribly ugly, and it was just a thing about money. Dave and Steve aren't talking.
In fact, Steve's stunt double and my stunt double also were not talking to each other.
When you start any new job, there's always that question of who am I going to have lunch with, which is pretty stressful. The first writer to invite me to have lunch was Jill Davis, and she and I became very good friends. Jill had a special affection for TV and movie celebrities that, let's just say, were not in the prime of their career. My favorite pieces that she did a lot of remotes. It's Dave and Zsa Zsa Gabor going around LA having fast food.
I've got Zsa Zsa Gabor with me. Zsa Zsa would like a filet-o-fish sandwich. What kind of wine do you have? Look at Zsa Zsa. What do you think of that? Look at her pounding down those fries. Zsa Zsa loves her fries. We're here at the In-N-Out Burger, me and Zsa Zsa. You folks can go ahead and make up your own jokes. You ever see that Jurassic Park movie? She used to have those animals as pets.
Very early in my time at the show, I got to know Donick Cary. We spent so much time together on staff that people would just refer to us collectively as Jonick, which I don't think either of us really enjoyed, but it worked. With most comedy writers, even really great ones, when you hear their pitch, you can sort of see where it came from. With Donick, many, if not most of his ideas, I couldn't fathom where they came from. And the perfect example of that is P-Boy. Not only did it work, it became something we did many times and built around in all kinds of crazy ways. But I just remember sort of being in awe and feeling like, I don't know if I can do that.
Hey, Paul.
What?
Do you smell frozen peas?
I think I do, too.
Oh, my God!
Got to be good pals with Spike Feresten, fantastic writer. But when I think of Spike, I think of destruction and mayhem. I particularly think of a time where he got to do something he had been dying to do, which was throw those big water jugs down a huge stairwell. And I don't know whether 30 Rock gave us permission for this or not, but it was amazing.
We're going to be dropping 10-gallon jugs of Deer Park water.
Who's helping out?
Okay, we have Spike, Jay, and Chris.
All right, men, don't get hurt. There you go. Wow.
Steve Young is somebody else who I worked with for many years and love. Very unique take on things. But when I think of Steve, I think of something very musical, which was a piece he came up with called Strong Guy, Fat Guy, Genius.
Do you have anything for the strong guy to bust?
I've got this humidifier.
Oh, a humidifier.
The strong guy, the fat guy, the genius. God gave them each a special gift at birth. Break it, they eat it, they solve it.
Actually 3 area codes in New Jersey now, but Maplewood would be 201.
That's the reason they were put on this earth.
When Donick and I were head writers, he and Jill Lederman, our producer, did a college talent search for young writers who are in or freshly out of college. And out of that came Rodney Rothman, who went on to be a head writer and do all sorts of amazing things. Rodney loved creating moments for the show where the audience wouldn't know exactly what to make of it. Is this real? Is this made up? Dave enjoyed presenting these things with no explanation. Probably the best of these was the completely made-up boy band Fresh Step.
Girl, read my lips, the lips of my soul. I was in a billion pieces, but you freshed me whole. Girl, you're high class, like a song by Mozart. Don't talk to the head, it's all fresh. Angel, just talk to my heart.
Another writer who I grew to love and respect enormously was Canadian super genius Tim Long. When I think of Tim, who I know did a million amazing pieces for the show, but I think of a man named Dick Assman. A mild-mannered Canadian. He worked at a filling station. This snowballed into a thing where we were calling Dick Assman on the phone. Eventually he came to the theater. I'm sorry, Tim. Dick Assman.
You know, a great gas station attendant is a lot like a great quarterback. How? A great quarterback throws touchdown passes. A great gas station attendant throws premium gasoline into your car's tank, and nobody's got a better arm than Dick Assman. I'm Joe Namath, and I've got Dick Ass Mania.
Be a Dick Ass Maniac. Visit Petro Canada today.
Finally, although he's not a writer, I have to mention my buddy Rupert G. from the Hello Deli, who was the star of a piece that I came up with called Fun with Rupert. Now, when I first had this idea, I didn't have Rupert in mind. I just called it Fun with Phil, and the idea was there'd be some guy named Phil that we would cast. Dave would feed him lines, and it was a way for Dave to interact with people on the street without them having any idea who they were actually talking to. The next thing I knew, I was told that Dave and Rob wanted to cast me as Phil. This was exciting, but also terrifying. But at the last minute, as I was being, fitted for the camera and everything, I was told that Dave had a change of heart and thought the piece would work better if it was with somebody the audience actually knew already. And they chose Rupert, who turned out to be completely perfect.
How do you do, man? My name is Steve.
Can I get you anything?
Can I get you anything?
No, thanks.
How about some more napkins?
How about some more napkins? No?
They're on me.
They're on me.
Stay right there. I'll get some napkins.
Stay right there.
Here you go.
Here we go.
Knock yourself out, honey.
Knock yourself out, honey.
Is your name Billy?
Is your name Billy?
You can't bother the customers.
I'm sorry?
You can't bother the customers.
What do you care, tough guy?
What do you care about that, tough guy?
Are you talking to Mayor McCheese?
Are you talking to Mayor McCheese?
The first time I was given real responsibility on the show, Rob Burnett, the head writer, asked me if I would supervise shooting of this remote in which Dave would take Marv Albert to buy a suit. The idea that I was going to think of something on this remote that he wouldn't have thought of first seemed insane to me, and I don't think I did that day.
Marv, when he does the inseam, he's going to ask you to turn your head and cough. What do you think, Marv? Yes. This is the suit for you?
Yes.
You really like this one? Come on, you really like this suit?
Wait a second. I said 2, and that's...
Try it again. You really like this suit, Marv?
Yes.
All right.
I did enjoy being cast on the show, and I think people didn't know exactly what to make of me. I was very quiet, which may have led me getting cast as the Unabomber. And I remember inventing the catchphrase, "Be your own dog, drink Red Dog beer," which was just some dumb, bro-y beer that was being marketed at the time.
I've observed a puzzling phenomenon involving wire hangers. Every time I open my closet, the number of wire hangers appears to have increased by several 100%. What are they doing in there? Having sexual intercourse?
Now wait a minute, Unabomber. You've been terrorizing the nations for years, and that's all you wanted to say, really?
Oh yeah, one more thing. Be your own dog. Drink Red Dog beer. Good night, everybody.
One of the most fun days I had on the job was the day we spent driving around LA with Florence Henderson from the Brady Bunch. I'm Mr. Gen X Brady Bunch lover. Cannot believe I was just hanging out with Carol Brady for a day. And also Tom Selleck. He was the most beautiful human being I've ever laid eyes on. Yeah, career highlight.
There's a celebrity right over there. I knew it. Hi, Tom. Dave Letterman. Nice to see you. No, don't get up. Don't get up. You enjoying your meal?
Yeah, it's great.
What are you having?
I'm having pizza.
Wow, that looks great. Hi, Florence. How are you? Nice to see you.
A piece that was very exciting for me to do because it was probably the most creative control I remember ever having on anything. Dave and Paul could make a music video for just a random New Yorker. And we found this guy who sliced meat at the Stage Deli, whose name was Mo. A real highlight was working with Paul Schaefer. Paul is a genius, and he came up with this insane melody and whole orchestration for this song, to which I wrote the lyrics, none of which remotely rhyme or make any sense, and yet somehow all this just got on the show the way it was.
He's Mo, the badass meat slicing man.
This is a story about my best friend, who is my brother, who never worked on the show. We did a show on a Friday night in Boston. Dave was going to find some sort of nerdy guy and turn him into like the big man on campus or whatever. The big payoff of the piece was supposed to be that the bar was going to strip down and streak across campus. The bar, of course, did not want to do this. My brother was going to school in town at the time, and I thought, oh, I know who will do this. Called up Jamie, my brother, and said, can you be at the BU football field in 20 minutes to run naked across it on camera? And he was like, yeah, I'm on my way. And if you watch the piece, you can see that in no way is this the bar.
It's just one final thing you have to do. You have to do something to get people's attention.
He knows what's what. He's a slow walking, smooth talking son of a bitch. He's the boss.
Bill Murray, whenever he came on the show, of course, would do fantastic pre-planned things. Somebody had the idea that Bill should see an audience member who did not look like they were having fun and make it his business to cheer that person up. I was cast as that person because I was a quiet, creepy guy who always looked sad and depressed, I guess. I don't know.
Do you really want to watch the show, or would you mind, maybe want to talk to somebody? Come on, let's go out.
What's the matter? Just a little depressed?
I don't know. We'll go outside.
All right. Take care of him. Thanks, Bill. Be careful. What's going on exactly?
Dave, we're having a tough love intervention.
Come on.
Look.
This is interesting. Dave, you would
You
like
gotta
this.
do it.
Reverend Sharpton, what was that thing you said about the angels that was so good?
Angels will come around him looking like this. Get him some new dress. Get him some self-esteem.
All right, Bill. Wow. You've made some real progress, Bill. Nice going, Bill.